the key takeaway I want to give for just prospecting, since we're on this topic and making people more comfortable with doing it, is again, it's about mindset. So you want to go into the calls as if you're calling your friend. Like, I'm making new friends today. Like, that's what I tell myself.
It's not I hope they don't hang up on me. You got to have the mindset of I'm calling my buddy that I haven't talked to for 10 years.
Yeah. Or even, again, I'm just making a new friend today. I don't have to pretend I know this person. Although that is kind of my strategy. Like, when they pick up, they're like, do I know you? And I'll say, no. And they're like, oh, you are approaching me as if you know me. So I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, you want to come in with that mindset.
Welcome to episode 25 of the Realized Gains podcast. I'm Stephen Tran. I'm an Oregon realtor and a multifamily investor.
Hey everyone, I'm your co-host Jordan Lee. I'm a mortgage lender based in Oregon here, licensed in about 7 states, and I invest in single-family residences.
Yeah, and we had a great guest today. We interviewed Tyzoe Brown. She is a luxury agent here in Portland.
Yeah, she does a fantastic job. She's got a great work ethic. And in addition to being in luxury and working super hard as a realtor, she also is in the affordable housing world and talks a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, it's really great. I mean, so many great insights. This honestly was a really strong insight into her mindset.
That's true. Yeah, she's got a really good mindset. And I think this will be a good episode for you if you're interested in any of those things. So please hit that like, subscribe button, and tune in. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Realized Gains podcast. I'm your co-host Jordan Lee, a lender based in Portland, Oregon, licensed in about 7 states.
Yeah, and I am your co-host Stephen Tran, Oregon realtor, and we're here with Tyzoe Brown.
Hi.
Yeah, Ty, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I would love to. Local real estate agent here in the Portland market. I also do development for the Urban League of Portland, so I've gotten my feet wet into the industry and different facets, which is cool. And I specialize on the real estate side for acquisitions and commercial. And I also specialize in luxury real estate.
Well, that's great. Can you kind of just let us know how you got started in the industry?
Yeah. Are you from Portland or are you?
I'm not. I'm actually from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And I started in 2018 after I had my second child. And pretty much what prompted me or inspired me to get into real estate, my children's dad had a sister or a stepsister. She's still his sister. And her partner was a real estate developer. And I saw his house. It was a 10,000 square foot house. And I was What? I want that. So I ended up getting my real estate license and I took it from there.
Okay, so you were in DC and you moved here in 2018 and got your license right away?
So I moved here 2 months after I graduated high school.
Okay.
Solo dolo. And so that was 2013.
Picked a spot on the map or what?
That's literally what happened. Yeah, it was like, I'm an adult now. I'm going to figure it out. And yeah, I was looking at a few other places, Denver, here, and Phoenix. And I landed here and I've been here ever since.
Is there anything specific about Portland that won you over?
The pot, if I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest. Yeah, I know it was a state that was legalized at the time, so that's what I was.
No, there was. I mean, you're not alone in that. There was a big influx after that law happened, both here and in Colorado as well.
Yeah. I actually was a grower prior to me getting into real estate. I did that for a little bit once I turned 21. I had my LLCC license and I did that and it was a lot. And I was like, okay, we can't do this anymore. Too competitive. And I was very pregnant at the time. So it was just too much.
So you're a grower and then you transitioned directly into real estate?
Literally. So my last harvest, I used those funds and I invested into getting my real estate, starting my real estate business from that.
Okay. Oh, nice. So you're doing like kind of everything. You're like growing and cutting.
Trimming, literally everything. Literally everything. My ex and I, it was both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big of an area? Was it indoor or outdoor?
It was indoor. Yeah. So we had 2 rooms specifically for that. For grow and for Tran. And it was pretty.
Did you have a bunch of employees, or was it just mostly
Just us
the
two. No, we weren't that cool.
Okay.
I mean, if I did it today, I definitely could get some employees, but no, we weren't up there yet.
So what made you kind of get out of it? Was it just not profitable, or?
Yeah, and at the time I was still like very young. I was only 22, 21, 22, and I didn't really understand the fundamentals of like really building a business. I just knew this was something I wanted to do. So like yeah, I didn't have a clear understanding of how to actually scale.
Yeah.
So because of that, it was easy for me to go like, okay, this isn't for me. Looking back now, I totally could have done it differently and actually scaled the way I wanted to, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
It worked out.
And so where did you get your, like, where did you decide to land with your real estate license? Like how did you pick a firm or brokerage or?
So I went on Indeed and Keller Williams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. They had this, I reached out to a woman. Her name's Leslie. She's at the Sunset Corridor office.
Okay.
And reached out to her, and she was like, hey, we have cram sessions here if you want to like study for your real estate license. And that's pretty much how they got me in.
Oh,
like,
okay. So like they had like pre-license help.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And Keller Williams is just, I feel like it's a great place for any new agent to start because that is what they do best. Just training and just making sure their agents are top tier. And
Exactly.
yeah, truly.
Keller Williams Rookie of the Year over here.
They're awesome. I did leave, but I'm back. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, so did you start on a team, or how did that part work?
I started on a team and for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't like someone telling me what to do.
It's just like working for somebody else again,
It felt
right?
like I was
Yeah,
working for
after you had
someone
your own
else.
business.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not my personality. I truly felt like I was a leader, so I just couldn't do it. And then I left, went to Cascade Sotheby's because that's how I wanted to enter into luxury. And I was there for about a few months. Then went to EXP, which is, I think, a great firm too. Again, still stayed in luxury. And now I'm back at KW because TP is just good at what he does. He was like, hey, you belong here. So here I am.
Okay, so you early on in your real estate journey, you were like, I want to target luxury. What was that from your whole, going back to your initial, like when you met that developer and saw his house, that you were wanting to do that, or was there something else that was drawing you towards luxury?
Yeah, that's a great question. So initially, I actually wanted to represent developers or builders who so happen to build like luxury homes.
A custom build,
Yeah.
Smaller custom builds.
Correct.
Okay.
And I thought working with them will eventually help me reach my ultimate goal in real estate, which is to be a developer at the time. And so, I initially came in thinking, okay, developers, I want to do big houses like like my ex's sister's husband, and that's how I kind of got in. Just that desire.
Yeah, and can you kind of tell us, like, obviously you're a brand new agent, you're learning basically the ropes. Did you just say, I'm not going to do anything under a specific price point, or you just kind of did everything and learned?
Yeah, no, starting out, I literally took anything. My focus was just listings though. So, didn't really want to work with a lot of buyers. I knew that if I was going to work with developers or builders and I want their listings, I probably should start focusing on listings. Okay. So, that was my strategy there. But yeah, I pretty much took anything, whether it was $300,000, if it was a $100,000 listing, I would take it. I didn't care. I just wanted to get my feet wet and understand just how to properly market a property to begin with. And then just grow from there.
Okay. And like, did you have mentorship, or like, how did you kind of figure out how to like get listings and figure all that stuff out?
No. And looking back, I feel like I should have. I probably would have grown a lot faster. I mean, I've been in for 4 years, but looking back, I definitely wish I had a mentor. It probably would have been a little less stressful. So what I did was I self-taught. I read a bunch of books, did YouTube videos, YouTube University is what I call it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Tom Ferry was the GOAT for me back in the day. He still is kind of. I still check out his stuff, but that's what I used.
Okay.
When I needed motivation.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see how you kind of went from that, like doing all these smaller listings to now, like, I mean, you have like, what is it, $3.9 million?
I have a $3.2 million penthouse in the market right now. Yeah.
Yeah, where was the switch when you're like, okay, I'm a luxury agent now, or was there a gray area, or how does that happen?
Heartbreak did it for me, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Someone broke my teeny titsy little heart. So no, dude, pain is really when it really can push you to step outside of your comfort zone. I feel like, so like once I had my heart broken a couple years back, I started doing a lot of like manifestation techniques and just focusing a lot on like what I wanted versus what I did not want. Mm-hmm. And so eventually, like once I kind of had that mindset shift, I started taking action. So I think that's the first thing. I think just really shifting your mindset and having confidence in yourself and just knowing that, you're going to fail and be okay with that.
Yeah.
And just take it. So in 2020 is when I had my first $1 million listing, and I actually picked that listing up from cold calling around the neighborhood.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So explain that. What do you mean by cold calling around the neighborhood?
Yeah. So I would drive around a neighborhood, and if I see a house that I really like, I later would go home and research that house, see what the market value was on Zillow, and I'll find the person's phone number and just make the introduction.
Oh, okay. So this is a pretty targeted, specific thing. You're like,
and it kind of has to.
I drove by your house the other day. It's super beautiful.
That's exactly what I said.
Are you ready to sell?
Yeah. No, that's exactly that was.
And you picked up a listing just like that.
Yeah, literally. 2 months later, after I did that, I got the listing.
Okay.
Nice.
In no time.
Amazing.
So I was like, I should have done it sooner.
And were you able to repeat that with like you kept that strategy going?
Pretty much, and then after that, I started focusing on other things, as I mentioned earlier. Like I wanted to get into development, so I ended up hiring a virtual assistant to make phone calls for me and set the appointments, and then I'll just go in and close them. But same strategy. Like I'll just send over a list of addresses that I wanted them to call, and if they set the appointment, great. I'll just close it, and if not, there are times, of course, well, if I had time, I'll do it. But most of the time, I'll have a VA.
And talk to us about a virtual assistant. I mean, that's a term that we use a lot in the industry, but I don't know that our listeners totally understand. How does that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, there are different routes you can go for VAs. I mean, there are VA companies all over from the Philippines to Mexico, whatever. There are VA companies here, and essentially just Google like VAs. And some focus strictly on just real estate. And if it fits within your budget, make sure you have a budget. Please. You don't want to go broke. But if it fits within your budget, I think it's a very, very valuable thing to have in your business, especially once you become busy and start doing other things. You want to have that leverage. So for example, you have like a list of numbers or whatever that you'd plan on calling, and then you just like give it to them. They call them and they're like, okay, hey, if you're having a positive response, I'll schedule an appointment with Ty. Essentially, yeah, and give them the tools to be successful. Give them your CRM, give them your scripts, everything, everything. You want them to be successful in making those calls for you. So you want to give them what they need in order to give you results that you want. So make sure you give them all of those things. Anything that you would use to set appointments, that's what you want to give them, right? So.
And how much of increase in appointment setting did you get by moving over to a virtual assistant?
So I found that I do a much better job at setting appointments. Yeah. Did it help? Absolutely. So I would say like if I only use VAs if I'm incredibly busy.
Right. If you can't get
if I just don't, and I do not want to remove that part of my business of prospecting. So like if I feel that I don't have the time to do it, that's when I'll say, hey, I'll hire someone for like short term. But outside of that, I'm typically the one that likes to make the calls because I get the better results for obvious reasons.
So instead of maybe spending 2 or 3 hours a day on this, you might only spend a half an hour, and then some of it is your virtual assistant depending on your time.
No, even when I am the one calling, I still spend about 2 to 4 hours. Most of the time it's 4 hours a day. So I'll break it up from 9 to 11. I'll make my phone calls. And then, from like 11:30, I'll take a lunch break or whatever to get back into a good groove, because sometimes it can be stressful.
Sure.
Calling.
Oh, yeah.
And then at 12 o'clock, I'll focus on like other stuff. and then I get back in at 4, from 4 to 6.
So basically, you're saying since the start of your career, you've every day you've been on the phone 3-4 hours a day.
Yep.
So that's one way you get into luxury, right?
Literally, just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, it's not rocket science. Just as you would prospect for a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house, if you're a cold caller like myself, spend that energy on a larger price point.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the same results. You're going to exert the same amount of energy. You just get a bigger paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting because I watch a lot of, Tom Ferry too online, and they always say, like, be where that audience is, be at their gyms, be at their
That too.
events too.
And I do that a lot often as well.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I love networking, so I love finding opportunities where I can network. So any place that I think other business owners, or again, I like hanging out with developers. They're typically...
Yeah, how does that work? Where do developers hang out? How do you target them?
They like to go to, like you guys were just talking about Aria, right?
Yeah.
They like to go to events just like we do.
Okay.
They want to network with other developers. They want to network with other investors. They want to find business partners, lenders, and all of that. So go to those same events where there was an event actually in Vancouver, KFA. I'm sure you guys seen it because it was like all over Facebook, but it was a developer investor event.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I missed it, but
Pop up there.
So there are events that are targeted towards developers.
Oh,
in the industry.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Urban Land Institute is one. Like those,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and they have events all the time. I pop up there. Portland Business Association.
Alliance or whatever.
Alliance, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
I pop up there, where I pop up wherever I think other people with my mindset are going to pop up and try to create those relationships.
And that's specifically for the developers, right? That's the networking.
PBA is for any business owner in Portland.
Okay.
But for networking events, ULI, and stuff like that, most of those people in that demographic, they're developers and all of that stuff. So I'll pop up there and see who they know,
Yeah. No, I find it interesting because obviously I think everybody wants to break into a higher price point.
Everybody does, yeah.
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way or do anything or look a certain way?
Drive a certain car.
Yeah.
Dress a certain
Not
way.
in Portland. If you're in LA, New York, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. And bless his heart, he's so amazing. The client that I have right now for that penthouse, super wealthy guy. I mean, crazy wealthy. He's also a developer. He rocks cowboy boots and like he doesn't. He's not flashy.
He doesn't care.
He's
right?
not flashy. His wife, she's pretty flashy. She looks fly. She looks great. But him, he's like, I don't give a crap about any of that. And most of my clients that I've represented are the same way. Like I like to look good.
Yeah.
But they don't expect me to in order to get their business. What they expect from me is to have the knowledge and to properly educate them, right?
Be professional.
Right.
Give
Right.
Give good examples of how you're going to market their property.
Exactly. That's all they care about here. And again, LA, that's a different market. People probably want to see you driving a Rolls Royce if you
It's
are
not
gonna
selling
sell their
sunset.
$5 million house.
Right.
But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And so tell us more about development. I know you mentioned you're starting to get into that.
Yeah.
How are you going about approaching that? Like, what do you partner with people or?
It's so weird. I had a listing on Hawthorne Boulevard a year ago, and I initially had it listed for $1,095,000 or something like that.
Hawthorne.
There was a homeless camp,
Mhm.
literally right across the street. 8 tents straight down. I mean, you can. It's a beautiful house. You look out the kitchen window, and all you see is just tents. So I had to drop the price a few times. We ended up selling for $875.
Okay.
It was that bad.
That's a lot of different.
It
Yeah.
was that bad.
People would see it online, look at the pictures, and get excited, and then
They'll come out. I've had so many people actually drive out and like see that.
They just cancel the showing. Like,
They'll
oh,
turn
sorry,
around.
something came up.
So what I did was, because the 2 doors down, there was another listing for sale, and they were on the market for a long time for the same reasons, right? I eventually went over to those guys and say, hey, let me cut you a deal. If you can move, and I'll help you move, I'll buy you lunch, breakfast, I'll help you like do everything. You just can't be here because I'm trying to sell this house. And they were like, cool. Whatever. Yeah, literally, I should have done that like 2 weeks prior. Moved them out, started getting traction again, eventually sold it. And after I had that experience, I was like,
Oh, nice.
Portland is such a great place, but this homeless issue that we're experiencing is like out of line. So I called the planning department and I said, hey, because I knew I wanted to be a developer. That's the whole reason why I got my license. I said, hey, what does a girl have to do to get a few $1 million to build affordable housing so we can get people off the street? And she asked me, she said, have you developed anything before? Do you have a portfolio? I was like, nah. She's like, yeah, we're not giving you millions of dollars. We're not giving you money. But if you send me your resume, I'll fish it out to developers. Maybe you can be their assistant and learn the ropes or whatever. And I straight up told her, I was like, I'm nobody's assistant. If you're gonna send my resume out, like, please get me in the seat.
Yeah.
I would greatly appreciate that. Wrote in my manifestation journal later that night, mind you. Just want to throw that out there. And a week later.
Wait a second. You sent your resume to the city.
Her name is Molly Rogers. She's with Portland Housing Bureau.
And she actually gave it to a developer.
Sent it out.
Really?
I was shocked. Yeah, I thought she was just saying that to get me off the phone. But I was on the phone with her for a little over an hour. We had a really nice conversation. She was like, you know what? You seem like a very motivated person. Just send your stuff out and I'll fish it out. And I was like, okay.
I mean, sometimes you just have to ask, right?
Totally. One phone call.
Yeah.
So, a week later, I got an email from the Urban League of Portland, and they were like, hey, we got your resume. We're looking for a housing developer. Do you want to interview? And I was like, heck yeah.
Never done this before, but yeah, let's do it.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You have experience in real estate.
I've never done a lot of things before, but I'll jump in. This is what I want to do. So
get started.
Yeah. So I did a 3-step interview process, and they hired me, and that was a year ago, last February. And I'm still here.
So are you guys working on a project now?
Yeah. So we were just awarded. Okay, now I actually can talk about it. We were just awarded $9.5 million from Portland Housing Bureau through Metrobon, and that's going to go towards a stack. We're going to get funds from other sources because it's a $27 million development project.
Wow. Okay.
But it's going to be 62 units of affordable housing, and it's going to be focusing on seniors. And we named it Carter Commons after Margaret Carter, who was the first Black Oregon legislator. I called her personally myself to tell her last week, and it was super cool because that's why I came up with the name. And she's just amazing. She was the CEO of FUEL as well, once upon a time. But yeah, so we're going to be working on that. I have a 22-unit project that I'm working on as well off Fremont, and that's 60% AMI affordable housing, specifically workforce housing. And we are closing up for lease up on Interstate Heidi Redmond, Interstate in Baldwin, and that's a 60-unit studio project that is going to be, again, tailored to people who are homeless or on the verge of homelessness, and we're focusing on Black individuals here in Portland who were pushed out of the neighborhood. And then we're trying to get them back in.
Wow. Where's the bigger project located?
Heidi Redmond's off Interstate.
Okay. And how did you get the land for that?
Okay, so we're talking about the one that we just got awarded.
Yeah, the 60.
So Kaiser Permanente actually gave that away.
Okay, so they had extra land. And
right. Just for people who don't know, that's a hospital here, like a hospital chain.
Yeah, Kaiser Permanente.
Okay, nice. Wow, congratulations. That's cool.
Can you tell us kind of like what your experience was getting into this type of work? Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about it. Like, since it's brand new to you, brand new to you.
And by the way, affordable housing development is like totally different than regular development.
Here in Portland, it costs about $450,000 a unit.
Oh my God.
It's incredibly expensive to build. But
it also, you have to provide services. There's a standard of development that you have to meet. I mean, you have to pay X wage for your contractors that meet all these standards as well. So it's not, there's reasons why it's more expensive.
Correct. That's exactly it. Well, to answer your question, it was tough because I came into, I know the basics, right? I understand early assistance, I understand all of that, but the construction part I had no experience in. And I'm still learning. I've only been doing this for a year. So it was nerve-wracking at first, to be quite honest, because I was like, wow, I actually got the job because, well, I'm smart, but now I have to learn so much. Like, this just opened up a brand new can of worms for me. But eventually, I mean, again, YouTube University.
There's YouTube for how to build affordable housing. Is there?
It's there.
I'm sure.
I mean, there's so many videos that you can do. And then also, because I work for a nonprofit organization, they help me get the education I need. So I was in training last year for project management and all of that stuff, and they helped me with that. So they definitely made sure I was set up for success so I can properly execute and be a good partner with our co-developers and whatnot. So yeah, it was tough, but it's gotten better. I know what to do now. I know how to do my job.
Oh yeah,
which
no,
is
totally.
great. Yeah. So
No, I know Jordan has been trying to get into some affordable housing projects as well.
Yeah, we're in contract in Salem on a project that we're hoping to build 38 units. We're in the middle of applying for the LIFT grant right now.
right on. Okay,
Yeah.
4%.
Yeah, the 4%.
Yeah, yeah.
For
That's
rental.
due on the
I
18th,
know.
bro. It's coming up.
I know. Have you filled out? Did you
I have.
for the last round?
I have. So
right?
for the free month of 22 unit, or now 23 units, that one was the 4% LIHTC, and I am hoping I can apply for the 9% in July.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I know they're super competitive and there's always more applicants than there is money. Luckily, there's someone on our team that has like 20 years of experience doing it. So
who are you guys looking to serve for this project?
we're partnering with the Micronesian Islander community in Salem. It's a local nonprofit there. There's like 5,000 Micronesians in Salem, and the population of Salem is about 170,000. So it makes up about 3% of the population there.
Yeah.
I think in the school district, there's something like, I think the second and third most common language is a Micronesian language. And there's, I think, one staff member that's Micronesian in the Salem Kaiser School District. So it's a very underserved population. A lot of the folks live there, like 2 to 3 families in a small apartment. So most of the units that we're planning on building are 2 and 3 bedroom. And only a few 1 bedroom.
So you guys want to focus on families?
Families, yeah.
Great, because I feel that a lot of oftentimes with these type of solicitations or type of projects, oftentimes it's mostly geared towards like singles. We don't have enough projects really for.
And it usually pencils
families.
better as singles.
It does,
Yeah.
but again, we're focusing on underserved communities with these type of projects, so we have to figure out a way to make sure those folks aren't, missing out.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that you're doing that. Congratulations and good luck.
We can talk more about that.
Yeah.
So I want to hear, obviously you're doing, seems like commercial, development, luxury. How do you time block? How do you fit this all in? And how do you,
2 kids, yeah.
Yeah, 2 kids, like how do you context switch and do all this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Kind of like you said, like I time block. So I told you earlier, like how I structure my calls for my business and all of that. So I have days that are designated for specifically the millennial group, which is my brand for real estate sales. And I make sure that, if I just know how to structure my time. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like I know what I need to prioritize and when I need to prioritize it. So I just do it.
That's great. Just do it.
There's nothing else.
I mean, what's the number one non-negotiable? Is it your prospecting that you're always going to do every day?
Always. If I feel today, for an example, if I felt like I didn't hit the numbers I needed to hit, I wouldn't have came here today. I would have said, guys, I'm sorry. I have to reschedule. Right. So I try to make sure that I'm disciplined with that stuff because, again, like you said, that's number one priority.
I mean, I think that's I think it's something that a lot of new realtors or people that kind of don't stay in the business that long forget about is that, like, if you're not constantly prospecting, like, how is your business going to keep running? Basically.
I think they understand that. It's just the fear of doing it.
Or maybe they don't like it.
They don't like it.
Don't enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but most of the time, who does? But the key takeaway I want to give for just prospecting, since we're on this topic and making people more comfortable with doing it, is it's about mindset. So you want to go into the calls as if you're calling your friend. Like I'm making new friends today. Like that's what I tell myself.
It's
Yep.
not the, I hope they don't hang up on me. You got to have the
Yeah,
mindset of
no,
like, oh, I'm
like,
calling my buddy that I haven't talked to for 10 years.
Yeah. Or even, again, I'm just making a new friend today. I don't have to pretend I know this person, although that is kind of my strategy. Like when they pick up, they're like, do I know you? And I'll say, no. And they're like, oh, you are approaching me as if you know me. So I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, you want to come in with that mindset. Like I'm about to make 5 new friends today, or whatever your number is, or whatever your goal is.
It's funny because we met at Bold, which is a KW training program, and I think the thing they said is like, you're so uncomfortable to make this call. Like, would you rather be uncomfortable and not make the call, or would you rather be comfortable and not make the call, or would you rather have the commission?
That's such a great question.
Yeah,
Do you want to get paid?
Yeah,
exactly.
You want to feed your family.
Yeah, and it's not even just about that. It's also like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've cold called and I made a best friend, like literally a best friend from it.
Really?
Or like, oh my gosh, that's how I make most of my friends, if I'm honest, from like trying to sell real estate. I swear to you, like, it's incredible. There's been oh my goodness, countless times where, and oh man, there was this one time I was cold calling this guy. He was like, don't effing call me again, click. You know what I did? Boop, 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 boop. Hey, he was like, did I just hang up on you? I was like, it sounds like you're having a bad day right now. What's going on? He starts telling me his life story.
Really?
Just spills all the beans. Well, I'm going through a divorce right now, and I'm just trying to sell this house, and blah, blah, blah. And
did you sell the house?
I sure did. Bro. Crazy. It was a house in Lake Oswego. He had it listed for 90 days with someone else. He only had 2 showings within those 90 days.
Wow.
I come in, didn't drop the price, sold it in 14. Boom.
Nice.
Impressive. Yeah.
Yep. So it works. Just pick up the phone, make some new friends, and make a good commission along the way.
I love that because it's like one of those things. Did you feel uncomfortable when you started?
No, and I'm going to give you a secret.
Always come naturally. Right?
No. No. So prior to me getting into real estate, I worked as a telemarketer for like 3 years.
Oh, okay. That's good experience. Yeah.
So you're used to getting yelled at and
cussed out and oh my goodness. So that is probably why I'm so comfortable. So don't think I'm like a natural born like telephone person. I'm not. I just had no choice to do it in order to pay my bills.
When you started that, was that uncomfortable though? The telemarketing?
Actually, no.
So you're telling us you're still not a natural.
I didn't mind it.
I mean, if you're getting a job as a telemarketer, though, it's like it's different than getting a job as a real estate agent. Like that you're going to be calling people, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Oftentimes, people get into real estate don't realize that, like, hey, I got to pick up my phone in order to like close a deal. But that's a good point. I actually enjoy telemarketing too. So.
No, but your point about making friends is so true, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, I just had a client party recently, and one of the clients was like asking people if or she got asked maybe like if you know Jordan professionally or personally, and it was like, well, both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I think that happens in real estate. You spend a lot of time together, and it's a good opportunity to make new friends. And who do you do business with?
Friends, yeah.
Friends. It's supposed to be that way, right? I mean.
Well, some people are uncomfortable working with their friends.
I know.
Yeah. I
some people don't want to do anything with their friends, which is fine.
And it is. I think I've been in the business for 4 years, guys. 2 people that I know personally is who I've done business with. Oftentimes, it's a stranger, and then I become close with them.
Yeah.
2 people.
Really?
That's it. Also, that I don't really market to my sphere.
You don't market to your sphere.
No, because they don't have $1 million.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, that's kind of like I always thought about trying to do commercial real estate or something like that. The amount of pool of people, like of your 100 friends, maybe one of them owns a business, right?
Right.
So of your friends, how many of them have luxury homes? Yeah. Very few.
Yeah. So.
No, like I said, I find that really interesting because I was born and raised here, and I definitely probably can count on my hand, the number of people that I know from my high school or, from growing up that can afford $1 million plus home. So
no, definitely. Exactly. So I had no choice but to branch out of my sphere. So when people tell you in real estate and you're trying to get in the luxury market, call your sphere, that's not really the best approach.
No, I totally get that. I mean, and I'll make this assumption. I don't hang out with a lot of luxury people, but I'm sure there are very classy rich people. There are very crass people, in every basically price point.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, the audacity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
You've spoken a little bit about mindset today. Can you how much did you have a coach with that, or did you read books about it? Do you spend specific time during your week to work on mindset?
yeah,
I feel like you have that really dialed in.
I do.
If you're able to get hung up on and yelled at and to be able to call that person back and
I
get
love
into
when
a
people
sale.
hang up on me.
Oh really? That is a great mindset.
Yeah.
I love it because I'll just call you back, and 9 times out of 10.
I'm sorry. Did you accidentally hang up on me?
I don't say that. I literally will call you out. I'm like, hey, you hung up on me. What the heck? Like, I don't. Yeah. But so in terms of mindset, I did not have a coach. Again, I feel like I probably should. There's a lot of things I should do that I
think
don't.
you're doing great with that. With that
No,
one.
but I could do better, right? No,
Yeah.
no one's perfect. But again, the whole like heartbreak thing I experienced a few years back, I came across Bob Proctor. That man is the man that changed my life.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about him for the audience?
Yeah. So Bob Proctor is like a manifestation like guru guy.
Okay.
You guys haven't heard of him?
I've heard him.
Okay.
Just for the
I haven't, no.
Check him out. Rest in peace. He just died last
Okay.
year.
You found a book of his or like a YouTube channel? or
YouTube
something?
University.
Yeah.
YouTube University. Yeah, no, I watched one video of his and it just really resonated with me. And after that, it just took off from it, like literally. So 3 months prior to me getting that first listing, so 2 months in, is when I started looking at those houses.
Yeah.
The month prior is when I started getting into like manifestation and all of that. And yeah, anyway, so I watched his video, and after that, it just kind of took off from there. Like everything in my life just started to change.
Can you talk about
Everything.
manifestation and what that means?
Yeah, you mentioned that did you say you keep a manifestation journal?
Yeah, if people who know me always say I'm the manifestation queen. And I truly, truly believe that I am. Not to be cocky or anything, but I am.
You believe it, you make it happen.
It all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I think that's what most people need to realize. Like, I'm not special. Everyone has that within them. You just have to constantly work on that. And most importantly, believe in that and in your power, because we're all very, very powerful beings once we start to realize that. So, but yeah, manifestation journal. I just bought a composition notebook from Target.
Sure. Yeah.
And just started writing things out as if it's already happened. And that's the key. Like, you can't say I want or show any feeling of lack. You have to actually start writing it out as if it's already happened. So what I did 3 months before getting that listing, I said, I am so happy that I have $1 million listing.
Yeah.
And I wrote that out 3 times in the morning.
Your journal to your future like self, looking back in the past or whatever.
That's how I got I told you, that's how I got that development position as well. Like literally a week prior. So just write it out. 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times in the evening before bed. And they say that before you go to bed is really...
Wait, you write the same manifestation or goal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like 15 times a day.
369. Yep.
Oh, 36. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the key is too, is that like, I don't write out the same thing I want every single day. I write it once and I leave it.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Like once that's done for the day, I tell myself it's done. I have it. It's mine. And I let it go. I release it.
Okay. Well, I have a couple questions. Do you feel like after you manifest it that the universe just brings it, or you just act a certain way, and when you go meet that person who's going to give you that $1 million listing, you're like, I'm this confident person who is able to do this? What is it about manifestation that makes this work?
The belief in yourself, I think, is key. I don't act a certain way. Like even when I was looking to get a development role or get into development, I didn't act like I was already a developer. I made it very clear I have no portfolio.
Right. You're not faking it.
No, I don't need to. What I think the key is, like, again, it's believing in yourself and your ability.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't have the answers right now, you should believe that you can acquire it at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, YouTube University. I don't have a college degree. I've never been to college. I don't aspire to go to college. I don't feel like I need to go to college because I know if I need to find something, I'll find it.
Yes.
It's really that simple. And I think that kind of needs to, work in everyone's mind. Like, we are in the United States of America. We have an abundance of information to us. There's no reason why we can't go out and get it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, as an agent, you're not going to know everything. You're not going to know everything about a house. You're not going to know every material. There's no point in memorizing all those things. It's like, I'll get back to you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So that's always been my approach. Just belief in myself.
No, I love that. That's great. I mean, like I said, I know so many agents who don't believe in themselves, don't portray confidence.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, a success in being a realtor is making the people that you're working with comfortable that you're competent in your role.
Yeah, if you don't have confidence in yourself, how can you expect someone else to have confidence in you?
Right.
Yeah.
And
it was like, I don't know.
with a big person.
I don't know if I can sell this house. Well, I don't know if you can sell it either. I'm going to hire this guy then, because
Yeah.
So it's like it's really. I mean, that's really the secret. Like, confidence, believing in yourself, and constantly. Not only that, like, you also have to take action. So you need to do the things that instills confidence within you, right? You can't just say, or just, it doesn't just come to you. You have to constantly work on yourself every single day.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
every day.
I'll say this about your penthouse that you just put up. Like, you just got an article in Oregon.
The Oregonian, the Portland Business Journal.
Yeah, and that doesn't just come from well, I'll just say it, bullshitting, or bullshit confidence. You have to go do the work and figure out how to do that. So can you talk about that part of?
Yeah, that's so funny because my good friend works at the Oregonian. She's not a reporter or anything. She does like marketing for them or something. And I told her, I was like, and this was like 5 months ago. I was like, hey, I'm going to get this $3 million listing. I just told everybody it's mine. And at the time, it was listed, by the way, with someone else.
You're like, this asshole's not going to sell it.
I'm going to sell it. That's my listing. So, hey, I'm about to get a $3 million listing, and I want to feature it in the Oregonian. She was like, I was like, who do I need to talk to get it in the paper? And she was like, oh, well, it doesn't just, you can't just talk to anybody. They have to see it and want to write on it. And I was like, man, whatever. Figure out how to get my listing.
I'm gonna ask someone else. Yeah.
No offense to you, Mika. I know she's going to see this but yeah. Eventually, 5 months later, I got the listing, and I called Mika again. She didn't pick up. I was like, okay, whatever. I reached out to Janet, who's at the Oregonian, and I was like, hey. She was like, hey. I was like, hey. I got a $3.2 million listing. You want to write about it? She was like, yup.
There you go. Just keep asking.
Nice.
So, same thing with PBJ.
PBJ?
Portland Business Journal.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's it. It was that simple. I didn't have to rustle any feathers. I didn't have to I had a great listing, and who wouldn't want to write about it? That was my mindset. Like, that's what I told myself. If I was on the other side, and there was a great ass penthouse on the market, I would want to write about it. So why wouldn't they? So that's my assumption, and that was fact.
No, I love it. Okay. Well, no, this is. Well, I think that's amazing. I mean, is this part of your current marketing strategy for all your listings?
No, this is the first time.
First time you've ever done it. See, you manifested and you believed, and now you're in the Oregonian.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have to check out the article.
I can send it to you.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, let's just say if you were to get started in this industry brand new, not you or somebody else, what advice would you give them to get started?
Into real estate or into the luxury market?
Both.
Okay. Into real estate, I would say start at Keller Williams. Start there for sure, excuse me. They have great training, great tools for new agents. I wholeheartedly believe in them, even though I left, but I'm back. So that says something. The second thing I would recommend if you want to get into luxury is simply just first shift your mindset, because you're going to have a lot of limiting beliefs and thinking to yourself, like, there's no way they're going to want to list with me or whatever. Scratch that. I would say just go for it. Like, if you drive past a house and you really, really like it, and you feel it in your being that you want this listing and that one day you want to sell it, tell yourself that you're going to sell it. Call that person up, build a relationship with them, send them information that's pertinent to them, and just stay in touch. I mean, that's really all there is. There's no rocket science. There's no magic. A little bit of magic. But the magic is confidence. So.
No, I truly believe it. And then obviously amazing customer service.
Absolutely. I like to think I'm great. I'm well rounded. I'm good.
And what's your kind of longer term plan? So you're starting your work in development. You've broken into the luxury world, getting consistent listings. Do you plan on continuing to just next 30 years still be hammering the phones 4 hours a day?
Absolutely not. As much as I love to do it, no, long-term development. That's always been it.
Just in the affordable space, or
both
in the private sector as well?
Both. So I want to focus on multifamily. That's what I love. In terms of like development, that's what I love to do. Sure, one day I might feel, a little spicy and decide to do a subdivision, but for the most part, it will definitely be multifamily development, office, et cetera, commercial. And still build out the Millennial Group brand. One day, I hope to have a brokerage for the Millennial Group brand. It's a luxury space brand, so that's what I'm working on right now. So have two vehicles: a brokerage, development company, real estate mogul.
No, we believe you'll get there.
That. Yeah. So and do you have a team that works with you right now?
It's just me and TP.
Okay.
You want to know something? I've had so many agents come to me. Hey, I love your brand. I love the Millennial Group. I love what you do. I want to get in luxury. They spend one day with me. And this is what I started doing. I have people shadowing me now because too many people come to me, and then when they realize what I do and what it takes to get there, they're like, "Oh,
that's too much for me."
Oh, I can't tell you.
Is it the cold calling?
The cold calling. I mean, everything. Even I've had someone go to a listing appointment with me one time, and this was a couple of years back. And she saw me on the phone, and she was like, ugh. She saw me at the listing appointment. She was like, I don't think I can do this. She's not even in real estate anymore. I can't tell you. There was so many times, I don't mean to do it, but like people spend a day with me, they get their real estate license and they decide to get out of real estate.
Oh man.
Like, this is too much. But that's what it takes. It takes you getting uncomfortable, and not everyone understands that first getting in. They realize it later down the line. So I like to think of myself as someone that's like, hey, you see how it is. You either decide to go for it or you don't, rather than wasting a year or 2 years of your life trying to figure it out and realize you don't want to do it. Just spend time with me and see if you want to do it.
Oh, I got to send you some people, just let them know if they can get out of the industry a little bit faster.
It's weird. It's so weird. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But I will start building a team again. I had one a couple of years ago. I had 4 agents. And it was fun. I love
you don't mind the managing part and the coaching, mentoring.
You can do everything apparently. So.
No, not everything. No, I don't mind that at all. I actually really, really enjoy coaching and all of that stuff, and just being someone's like mentor support. My thing is though, it's just that you have to want it as much as I do. I can't want it more than you.
Right. You don't want to baby somebody.
That's not my job.
You want to hold their hand.
Yeah.
I don't get paid enough for that. So, and I get paid pretty well, but not enough for that. So as long as we're aligned and like, hey, you want to do it, I hope you get there for sure. That's not an issue. But right now, building a team is not a focus, like a full-blown team. I have the support I need. And when I am ready to do that again, I'll be super excited. And at this point, like, do not contact me asking to join, because the answer is no. Please.
Well, what if the person with the right mindset came by?
I wouldn't even have the time to give them the support that they need. If it's a new agent, I wouldn't have the time to do that. And that's just me being honest. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Well, you got to save your time, right?
Yeah. I mean, a year from now, I haven't. Do you have a business plan?
Probably not. Yeah. Well,
do you have a business plan?
I haven't written one for this year, but I did for last year. So
okay, please. Both of you guys, please pinky promise me.
All right, let's do it. On camera, we're pinky promising.
Business plan.
Yeah.
Set up. But yeah, get your business plan done. But for next year is when I'll start rolling it out again. Start trying to build a team. Yeah. I'll be a lot more confident in other areas of my life. But today, I just want to focus on being a great developer and, again, building the Millennial Group brand. That's my number one focus. So when agents do come on again, they're like, hell yeah, like, let's rock,
Yeah, no, I love that. And, you know, if people are trying to reach you, not other agents, obviously, for your team, but
Please
just
don't.
people in general who want to give you listings or want to find out about you or find you on social media, how can they find you?
You can look up the Millennial Group, or you can call me.
Put that number out there if you want.
971-212-5015. I'll get your property sold.
There we go.
No, I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.